Alright, welcome back to another tutorial video, people. Today's video is going to be about this building right here. And that building is the Institute of War. And that building is built when ROC starts, Reign of Chaos starts in your state. You'll build that building, and that'll give you all the information and how-tos and abilities that you will need to make your alliance or yourself stronger for all of the Reign of Chaos events. I will go over Reign of Chaos in another video, in fact many videos, because there's a lot of stuff going on with Reign of Chaos. It's one of the biggest events in the game. But today's video is just going to be strictly and solely about this building right here. So when you click on it, you will actually get 4 icons sometimes, but by default you get 3. The first one is the details icon, and that will just tell you information about the building. The second one is skill, and that's where you would go to activate any timed skills that you may have unlocked, whether it's increased building speed, increased production speed, increased defense or offense, increased resource production. They're all usually timed, like you get a 50% building bonus for 2 hours, let's say. The next one is the honor icon, and that'll take you inside the building, and that's where you navigate to the different sections, how to use your buildings, how to raise your honor level, and all that. We'll get into that. And the fourth icon that will sometimes pop up looks much like the honor icon, but it'll pop up after you've had a war. So after every war, there's usually a peace period where nobody can declare a war on you, and you can't declare war on other people. So it gives you a recovery period. But that icon will only show up after you've had a war. So let's start off with the icon for details. Open it up, doesn't say much, just says it provides many special abilities. It says it twice. So we'll move on to the next icon, which is skill. I haven't unlocked any skills yet, as I've been focusing on my material production for my Frontline Workshop rather than combat skills for the moment. ROC lasts for over 40 days. So right now I'm trying to make it so that I can get as much production as possible, as quick as possible, so I can upgrade my buildings as quick as possible. Once I'm at a decent level, then I'll start trying to add skills to unlock various bonuses. But there is 9 altogether. When you click on them, it'll tell you what they are. So civil engineering, after usage, construction honor gains, increased by 50% for 2 hours. So each one gives you a little description, and if it's unlocked, you would click on use, and it will activate that skill. Now we'll go on to the next icon, which is the honor one. So mine usually pops up with the specialty tab first. Now on this tab, you have a few features. You've got your honor level, okay, with a meter. When you click on the plus sign right here, it's one of the ways you can add any honor. I've already done that today, but they'll be there. It's kind of like in your inventory. There'll be an icon of an item and how many there are that you have, and you would add it much like you do with your heroes. It works the same way. Then you also have 3 sections here. You've got medical, building, and combat. And the way this works is as you increase in level, so level 10 out of 40 right now, every time you go up a level, you get a certain number of points. Usually it's 1 that I've noticed so far. And what you do at that point is you select one of these 3 buildings here, or one of these 3 options here. Right now I'm working on the middle one, the blue one, which is like building and production material. So as you go up a level by filling up this meter and increasing your level, you gain points, which will be listed right here. I have 0 to use right now. You select one of these dots, and you have to go one at a time, so you can't just jump up to this one here, for instance. You got to go in order. I've been working my way to the left because right here I can unlock an additional processing key, which is under here and here. It'll allow you to unlock that. So that way, instead of just processing this material right now to come up with these materials, I can add another one. So let me stop that for a sec. So by unlocking that, I can do this and I can process that at the same time. But we'll move on from that. So basically that's what you do. When you increase your honor level, you increase your level and gain points that you use to learn these things here, all these little circles. Now each one, it tells you how many times you got to do it. So this one was 3 out of 3. This one's 3 out of 3. I've only done 1 out of 3 for that. After I get 2 more points, then I will be able to unlock an additional processing spot. Each building or each section has its own schematic. In here you can unlock chaos expertise. Damage taken in Reign of Chaos is -2. You know, so different things. So that's what you do with the skill points, and that's what happens under the specialty tab. It'll also give you your specialty statistics and your active skills if you have any. So specialty statistics, it tells me that my Frontline Workshop max process is 60 plus 60,000. Workshop production speed is at a plus 14% than usual. And under my combat, I have a +6 Reign of Chaos resistance. So all these points that I've learned here and in this one, it gives you the full rundown on that tab. Over here, under active skill, it'll let you know if you have any skills that are active. So now we're going to go to the honor structure tab. So in the honor structure tab, it'll show all the buildings that you have placed around your alliance center. The first one, or one out of the multiple buildings, because you can have more than one Frontline Workshop because you have multiple alliance centers. So there's Frontline Workshop 1, Frontline Workshop 2, Frontline Workshop 3, but only the first one will give you multiple options, because the others just add kind of to the first one. So you got view, and you've got whatever you can do with that building, if there is something to do. So view for Frontline Workshop, it'll take you to the building itself, and just like any other building, you'll get all the icons to upgrade it, to shield it, produce material, to send troops and garrison it, what have you. When you're in this map, by the way, when you're in the main map, you can just select this icon here, and it'll take you inside your Institute of War. So the Frontline Workshop, as you go up a level, this building produces material. It converts materials that you've collected from resource plots or you've won through events, and it turns it into other materials that you need to upgrade any of these buildings. So the Frontline Workshop produces material. When you go to the production tab, this is where you go and you select one of the materials that you have collected throughout the events, we'll go with that one, because I need this material to increase my guardian building. That's what I'm focusing on now. And then once you selected it, you hit the start production on the bottom, and it starts producing. So it turns the materials that you've collected into materials that you can use. That's what the Frontline Workshop does. The Coalition Base Camp is pretty much your medical tent for the event. You can click heal, and if you have any troops that need healing, you would click heal down below. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory, and just like the other buildings, you can hit view and you can go to the building itself. You also have what's called a assault fortress and a guardian fortress. Now, the assault fortress increases as it goes up. It increases troop might during field battle. It can increase your troop might in general. So it's basically giving you the power when you attack. When you're attacking each of these little buildings or tiles on an enemy alliance center, it's increasing your power so that you can attack and do more damage per attack. The Guardian Fortress, it adds resistance. So as it goes up in level, you gain more resistance. You get troop resistance during field battles, and you get basic troop resistance. This will make it so that you don't take as much damage for like when you're attacking. You don't lose as many troops, things like that. Or your buildings also don't take, they get stronger. So that's what you want to do under the honor structure. You want to increase the levels of all 4 building types. You want to produce materials, and you use it to heal troops. Under territory, you have about 9 different types of territory that you can occupy. Okay, you have empty plots, which are just areas on the map that have absolutely nothing. You have abandoned farms, which are much like the farm resource plots during the normal gameplay, but these are the specific ones for Reign of Chaos. You also have your quarry version, you have your iron mine version, you have your lumber version, and you have a shabby distillery. There's also crumbling, I think, gold mines or diamond mines as well. But you want to capture higher level. The higher the level, the better. So the number in the corner tells you how many of that territory you have. Right here, it tells you how many territories in total that you can have. This right here tells you your influence power. So each territory that you own will increase your influence. Influence ranking, I believe, is between all the different states. And you can view your rewards here and your rankings there. Now, as you go select one, so for instance, we'll go with Shabby Distillery. When you go into it, it tells you what level and the location of the plot the territory that you took, and there's a check mark box that you can select to abandon it, because you can only have so many. I don't have that many right now, as you can see, because we have a war tomorrow morning. So when you're at war, it's just like regular ROC. You have to go tile by tile by tile. And every time you go forward a tile, it takes up a spot up until you're full. So just before war, I abandon a lot of my tiles. What I'll usually do is I'll select every other one and I'll abandon it. That way I don't leave big gaps around my Alliance Center or elsewhere on the map. If it's every other one, then there's a greater chance that I block any 2x2 or 3x3 square pattern, which is where a 2x2 pattern is where a castle can be, and a 3x3 is where a rally point can be. So as you can see here, we have all these territories, all those blue squares, white squares, you know. We tried to prevent, for instance, this right here should be filled in with a castle because of the fact that that's a 2x2 spot. An enemy castle can fit there. But we try to block any possible combination. So see those squares? You got that square, that square, and that square. What I mean by 3x3 is exactly that. If a square is occupied, then nothing can fit. So a rally point would fit in that. However, it can't be placed there because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares that are already occupied. There's not a 3x3 pattern that's empty. A rally point could, however, fit way away. And that's why we take up territories, because we don't want their rally points to pop up anywhere. So a rally point could technically fit somewhere right here, because for a 3x3 area, there's nothing. So around your Alliance Center, you're going to want to take up territories that block any 2x2 areas, which can hold a castle, and any 3x3 patterns that can hold the enemy's rally point. So that's what the territories are for, and that's why you abandon them or take them. Also, it is these particular ones here that will give you the materials that you need for production. You would collect materials to transform into building materials. So that is pretty much the honor structure tab, the specialty tab, the territory tab. Oh yeah, so as these buildings collect material, just like if you're gathering in regular gameplay, after a while you need to harvest it. So anything that you collect, you press this button down here, boom, and all that goes into your inventory, which is located in this building, all this stuff here. Yep. So this button here is the amount of territory that can be owned in your state, and this one is the amount of territories that can be owned in an enemy province. In fact, I have 13 spots in another enemy province. Okay, so now you have your season tab. Your season tab, oh, we went up a spot. Before we were 39th place out of 8 states. But in your season tab, it lists your alliance ranking out of 8 states. It lists your alliance season score, and it gives you details about the different drafts. Not drafts. Nope, sorry. This button here gives you the different phase info. This gives you the information about the different phases. So right now we are in invasion phase. There's 3 days because it happens Monday through Friday, I believe. But it'll tell you what states are involved. Yeah, Monday through Saturday. Here we go, see? And as you click the arrows, it tells you about the other phases. This button here will take you to the different states. So we have states 97. That's the state that the alliance is in. And you can visit the other states to check them out, spy on them, get a feel for what alliances you might be able to attack or declare war on, how many, C20 and above castles are in those states, things like that. And then here is the rankings of the different alliances in all the different states. So as you can see, MCD is number 1 out of all 8 states. We are in the top 50. We are in 40th place. We were 39th place this morning, but that's us there. And then you can tell what state they're from. So for instance, G97, which is from our state, is in 3rd place. Our state also has 13th place right there, AXK. Also MYM is in the top 50. ROC, us, RIO, RU2. So basically that's how it should be. Basically all of our top ranking alliances, see, G97, AXK, MYM, KOV, ROC, RIO. All of us are in the top 50, which is how it should be. If we're going to be in the top 5 alliances in the state, well, we better be in the top 50 out of 8 different states. So yeah, that's the rundown on the building. I don't think there's really anything else I can tell you about the building itself. The rest is just a matter of ROC gameplay, Reign of Chaos gameplay. But this video was just to tell you about the building, how to navigate, things like that. Now the last thing I'll go through is how to use the event center to find out what's going on with Reign of Chaos. So you select it, and you would select Reign of Chaos, and it takes you to the same thing that's in the building. When you go down to this button down here, Alliance Intel, that is also where you go to set a truce timer. So that way, I have mine set for 0800 hours, which means after server reset time, there's an additional 8 hours that nobody can declare war on us. I did that so that we have the most amount of people online at a time. So that's where you set your truce timer. And that pretty much does it for the Institute of War building. Check out the other tutorials.